107.1 Wash FM. Well, there's soft rock artist Madonna with Take a Bow. Rumor is that she's engaged to her bodyguard and dating Sean Penn again. So I don't know. Go figure that one.
No, 100 miles. We're about halfway.
Did you remember to listen to WJFK's Howard Stern show?
OJ will walk and I'll fry. You understand? That's my love.
On 301, we're about 8 miles from the Potomac River. As you get very close to the river like this, you're here called Pope's Creek. If you go down Pope's Creek, which is about a mile down the road here, you come to a house where John Wilkes Booth and his buddy out waiting for an opportunity to cross the Potomac, which is quite wide, and they needed a ferry to get across, and they had made arrangements for someone to smuggle them across the river so they could head south from here. Anyway, obviously this wasn't a paved road. This was a little path out to this ranch house, and it had been prearranged. This is not the Mud House. The Mud House is about, probably about 15 miles from here, northeast of here. I'm not going to be able to film that. But that's where he had his leg fixed up. So he kind of zigzagged east of 301, and this is now west of 301. We should be coming up on the house just ahead. And then this may be blurry on the screen, but I got too much dirt on the windshield to use the autofocus. I think that's the house right there. Yeah, that is. That's it right there. We'll pull over here and let the sign tell you what's going on. Okay. So what does it say? Home of Confederate mail agent Thomas Jones, who helped to shelter and aided the escape of John Wilkes Booth and David Harold in their flight on April 16th to the 21st, 1865. Now, Lincoln was shot on April 14th, so this is 2 days later. Let me see if you can see the house a little bit better. There we are. There we are. That's the house where he hid out, right there. Just an ordinary house for this era, 1860s type house. Okay, we're going to go on to Morgantown now. Patty, before you make a remark about how all I'm listening to is this oldie stuff, that's because out here, that's all you can get. That's it. We just passed Bud's Creek, the road to Patuxent Naval Center, Naval Station. We're about 4 miles from Morgantown.
703-218-6500. Thursday and Friday, July 6th and 7th. It's all waiting for you just around the corner in Wolf Trap. Extra 104 forecast.
Not as bad today as it has been the last
These
few
hardest
days.
days
It's
where
been pretty dry today, but
most
we're
Pepco
expecting
people
mostly
come for
cloudy
lunch.
skies. Drizzle possible, highs in the upper 70s, mostly cloudy tonight, still some drizzle around, lows in the mid or upper 60s. Tomorrow mostly cloudy too with just the chance of showers, so it should be raining all day. High tomorrow near 80, it's 70
we're
and
1 mile
cloudy in
from the
Washington
river,
now,
so
68 in Frederick.
You should
We're
see the
kicking off
stacks
an
right around
hour-long
the
free
corner.
ride. You're going to hear
Shut this off.
nonstop.
The Potomac. So what you see here is the Southern Maryland Exhibit and Travel Info Center, and as you come around the corner, you'll see the stacks from Morgantown. There they are. I'm just putting this on tape so I have it. I spent a long time out here, not just in the last 2 months, but the last couple of years. Probably not worth all that, but it's kind of exciting to see the power plant up close. Well, let me, this is the last exit right here. Come for sodas over there, truck stop. And that's the toll booth for the bridge up ahead. Okay, what's that say? You don't want that. There we go. These trains are always here. These are coal cars. They're bringing in coal. And this is called the car house, which is this long building here, and inside of it the cars go in that door you can see beyond that car, and the cars are tipped over. Actually, they're tipped sideways, and the coal is poured out of them onto a conveyor. See the coal yard? The cars are going in right now. See that? There you go. Okay, the idea. So there you see the engines backing the cars in. Can't see from this angle, but there's a conveyor that takes the coal and it goes right up that conveyor belt there. It's processed a little bit more and sifted into different sizes, and then from there more conveyors take it over here. And from there it's distributed into different piles, and that's the coal pile, the big coal pile. This is called a cogeneration plant, co meaning two. It actually generates electricity off of two things, two sources. One is coal, the other one is oil, and you can see these oil tanks out here too. There's a small tank yard, tank farm. This is fuel oil, so it'll burn occasionally fuel, and it'll burn coal depending on the need. Two smokestacks. As you can see, they're running and they're not polluting very much at all. Actually, that's running full steam right now. Those are the hydro tanks, those 5 tanks there. I'll tell you about them a little bit later. We're coming up to the entrance here, and that's the guard shack up ahead. And I don't think I'll film beyond that too much. Gotta get my badge out. And trailers where I've been working for the last couple months. They're unrelated to the plant over there. There's the engine that we just saw. Coal piles, conveyors. There's a conveyor from there. We'll pick this up later. Yeah, you can see the coal being dumped out into piles. The noise you hear is ricocheting off the plant, which is behind me. You can't see it from over here. But this is the coal area. It's all called the coal yard. And we are on the back of the trailers. Of course, this is where I park every day. Just warehouses. For the hydro tanks, what happens is after the coal is burned, what's left is ash. And all that ash is dropped into these silos and mixed with water. Then, that's why they're called hydro tanks, hydro ash tanks. Then these dump trucks come in here. They back up underneath. As you can see, they back up underneath under those chutes right there. And they drop it in and they haul it away. So those are the hydrogons. One of those fell over a chalk tank. These are about 35 years old, these tanks. And you can see the white areas. Those are repairs that were made just this past few months. Anyway, there's the smokestacks. They don't like the name smokestack anymore because, well, they don't put out smoke. And that's what's happened with these scrubber systems is they clean them up quite a bit. Anyway, this is the main plant. It's not that impressive. Inside the big building there are the boilers. I'm going to take you over to Chalk Point and you can see what the difference is at Chalk Point. And that in the distance there is the Potomac River. Road between Morgantown and Chalk Point, country road, it's Amish country. We may run into a buggy. You never know.
Back when Tom was being shackled by the music before he was free to be the performer at City Trip tomorrow.
Well, it's tough to find a saint.
Hold on, who's this? Hello, Don and Mike show.
Hey, Don and Mike.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you a question. This doesn't have to do with Tom Gavin or anything, but I got a question.
Yeah, woman. You will be in a competition with other men to see who can find their woman fastest.
It's a battle of speed.
Yes, indeed. We will run a clock on each of you guys to see how long it takes you. What kind of car are you driving, Tom?
I've got a red Jetta.
Red Jetta. What happened in the last relationship you were involved in, Tom?
It can't be a good relationship if you're doing this.
Maybe someone is closed captioning this conversation right now for her.
That would be unfortunate.
I know.
Where are you calling from?
I-270.
Okay, Montgomery County, Maryland. Steve, need to know about you, my friend. How old are ye?
35.
35. The celebrity you think you most resemble?
I'd have to say a younger Tom Cruise.
No.
Please, can we stop with the younger? You're 35. You can't look like a young Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I don't look my age.
Now, come on. Now, who do you...
Okay. All right, now, there's nothing wrong with Vince Gill, but Vince Gill is about 1,000,000 miles away from Tom Cruise. He's a long ways away. Oh, hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on. I got to call this other guy's girlfriend back. Well, she wants to go with another guy. That was an excellent suggestion. Was that your, Sherry?
No, that was Mike's suggestion.
Her name is Carol. She works for a Carol?
Yes.
Carol, hello. It's the Don and Mike radio show. How are you?
Fine.
We're on the radio right now. How are things in the judges' chambers?
They're great.
How are the judges' briefs?
They're fine.
Listen, I have a question for you. We understand you're going out with a guy named Tom.
Yes.
How would you characterize the relationship with Tom that you have going right now?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Would you think he's your steady boyfriend?
Yes.
How long have you been going out with him?
About 2 years.
2 years.
We've got some news for you. You know, he called to play our Highway Love Connection.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. We had to pry the news out of him that he had a girlfriend. And wait until you hear this.
Wait till he gets home.
He said it would be okay because you just wouldn't hear about it.
Yeah, he said it probably might be okay with you.
So is it probably okay with you if we hook him up and handcuff him to some other girl to be with all day tomorrow?
All day tomorrow?
All day tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. It's a day-long beach trip, and then we hook singles up together, and they go down to the beach on a bus together. You don't like that, do you?
Would you like to speak to Tom?
Oh, I sure would.
Okay. Hey, Tommy.
Hello.
Tommy.
Yes.
Your girlfriend's on the line here, Tom.
Uh-oh. Hey, hon.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Hey, hon.
Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
Oh, well, I was thinking about maybe going to the beach tomorrow.
Tom, Tom, wasn't it more like you were thinking about playing the Highway Love Connection to go down to the beach with a single woman?
Well, actually, I was kind of hoping that, she'd drive by.
Tom, now you know that she's at work, and as a matter of fact, we thought that you were a deaf girl for a while because you kept saying you can't hear.
Yeah, you weren't listening right now, so it would be okay.
No, I'm not listening, but
I'm kind of getting the idea that it wouldn't be okay.
So you're getting the idea now, Tom, that it wouldn't be okay?
Yeah.
There you go, Tommy.
maybe we can discuss it when you get home tonight.
God. Oh, God.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay.
You to make the decision, honey.
All right.
Well, then, Tom, we need to know now. Do you want to play the game? Do you want to meet a woman like you said you would like to? Meet a woman and start a new relationship?
No, I'm gonna stick with the one I got.
Well, then we have to ask her the question.
Listen, Carol, would you like us to hook you up with some new guy?
Hey, forget about Tom. We can hook you up with a new single guy to go to the beach.
Actually, I thought things were going pretty well. Maybe I should reevaluate.
Oh, my. Okay, we'll let you work that out.
All right, thanks, guys.
And our best to the judge.
As you can see, we're at Chalk Point. As I come around the corner now, you're going to see the Potomac River again in the background. We're about 25 miles up the river from Morgantown. I think you'll see in the background. No, I guess you won't from this elevation. And also, there's a coal pile off to the right. Now, this is strictly a coal burning facility. There is no oil. There are no oil tanks. That's the coal right there. Conveyor. Let me ditch the camera for a minute. Conveyor going on up into the boilers. And you can see the steam coming out. The boilers are right inside that big building there. Here's the cooling tower. Unfortunately, the water's not running right now. Here's the other cooling tower. It's too bad. That's the base of the cooling tower. It has all these little breathers in it. It all fills up with water normally. It looks like a big waterfall. Can't see too much smog coming out of there. That's pretty good. The scrubbers are working. This is the construction train. There's the car house. They have a fleet of dump trucks here that just haul coal back and forth. Take the ash out. I think I better shut this off. Didn't realize it was still on. Glad I looked. Handling this camera. That is Dr. Mudd's house, where John Wilkes Booth went to get his leg patched up. I'm doing my best to drive and still. Whoops. This is John Wilkes Booth rested here for several hours after receiving treatment for his broken leg. Again, this is on the 15th, which is right after midnight. That's the story anyway. There you have it. Let me see if I can. There we go. That's Dr. Mudd's house. So your name is Mudd, right? That's where the expression comes from. It's a nice open field. Probably looks no different now than it did 100 years ago when you think about it. Look at this. There's nothing in sight. Except for the telephone pole. There's really... and a radio tower out there. There's nothing different here. Look at that old barn. It's just as it was, an open field. Ought to be about it for this segue. So I'm going to fade it out, and we'll record something else of another nature. Bye.